Welcome to the second episode of Real Talk Behind the People Problem. Today we're going to talk about something that I'm sure everybody is very familiar with, especially given the times that we're living in, and that's burnout. Burnout does not announce itself. It builds quietly, and by the time most people recognize it, they've already been running on empty for months. I want to talk about what burnout actually looks like, what it costs your business, and the 5 things that you can do right now to get ahead of it. Whether you're an individual contributor, you're leading a team, or you're a business owner, this one's for you. Let's start with what burnout actually looks like, because it's not always obvious, and it's often mistaken for something else. Physically, you're exhausted in a way that sleep will not fix. You're getting sick more often, your sleep is off, either you can't wind down at night or you can't get up in the morning, you're skipping meals, running on caffeine, showing up late, calling out more than usual, and emotionally you feel a little detached, even a little cynical. You snap at people over the smallest things, and tasks that used to feel manageable are now feeling overwhelming. And then there's that low-level dread that you feel on a Sunday night, knowing that you have to go into work the next day. And at work, deadlines you used to hit with ease start slipping. Your quality of work is dropping. You stop contributing ideas and you stop going above and beyond. You're physically there, but you're not really there. If any of this sounds familiar for yourself or someone on your team, that's not a performance issue that you're dealing with. That's a signal that you need to pay attention to. It's a red flag. Now, let's talk about what this is actually costing your organization, because burnout isn't just a people problem, it's a business problem with a very real price tag. Productivity will eventually drop. Burned out employees operate at a fraction of their capacity, and the chronic stress that they're experiencing directly impairs the decision-making and creativity that you're paying for. Turnover will spike. Burnout is one of the top reasons why people are resigning. And when someone leaves, you're not just losing a person, you're losing that institutional knowledge and, most importantly, anywhere from 50 to 200% of their annual salary in replacement costs. Engagement collapses. Disengaged employees don't always quit. Sometimes they actually stay and coast. And that's even more dangerous. You've heard of the silent quitting. And Gallup estimates that this is costing U.S. businesses over $500 billion a year in lost productivity. And then there's the culture. When a burned out employee becomes cynical, it's dangerous. It spreads. Your best people, the ones with options, are starting to already look out there. Here's the bottom line. When one person burns out, you have to look at the workload. When a whole team burns out, you have to look at the culture. And when it's everywhere, you need to look at leadership. So what do you actually do about this? Here's 5 things that work. And I know because I was in those shoes not too long ago. I was severely burned out. I didn't know what it was. And I had to do my research and try to find ways to get over that hump. So first, protect your transition ritual. You need a consistent signal that tells your brain that work is done for the day. For me, it was a hard cutoff at the end of my workday. When that time hit, I closed everything out. It took practice, I'm not going to lie, but once I committed to that, my evenings actually became mine again. And if you manage a team, normalize this out loud. When you say, I'm heading out, I'll pick this up tomorrow, you're giving your team permission to do the same. That's leadership. Second, set hard limits on after-hour notifications. Turn off your messages, turn off your email, set a cutoff time, and communicate it. Managers, listen closely here. If you're sending messages at 10 p.m., your team is going to feel obligated to respond, even if you never ask them to. The message that you think you're sending, which is, I'm just catching up, is not the message that they're receiving. The message they're receiving is, you should be available too. Your patterns set the tone. Third, separate physical rest from mental rest. Here's a newsflash. Scrolling on the couch, that's not called recovery. True mental rest means low stimulation. For me, that's exercising and my family time. Moving my body, being present with the people I love, those are the 2 things that reset me more than anything else. I protect them the same way I would protect a meeting on my calendar. Managers, if someone on your team is checking in on vacation, that's a big red flag. Either the workload is too heavy, the coverage is not enough, or they don't feel safe truly stepping away. And that is a definite conversation you need to have. Fourth, take real time off. Not the fake vacations where you're answering emails at the side of the pool. Block it, plan for it, and actually leave. If you lead people, make sure they can do the same. If someone can't take a week off without everything falling apart, that is not their problem. That is a systems problem, and you as the manager need to build a backup plan and let the people go on vacation. Fifth, and this is foundational, rest intentionally and protect your sleep. That's a big one for me. I make sure that I get my full sleep in. Full transparency, I know what I'm like when I don't get enough sleep, and that's not the type of leader or the person that I want to be. Sleep is not a luxury. It's the foundation that everything else sits on. Your decision making, your patience, your creativity. When leaders are sleep deprived, their teams feel it even when nothing is said. Stop treating rest like it's a reward. This is a performance strategy. And say that out loud to your team. Model it, because culture is built on these small moments. So to close, burnout is preventable, but it requires intention from every individual and from the people who lead them. These aren't just tips I share. These are things that I actually put into practice. A clear cutoff, exercise, family time, real rest, and protecting my sleep. The best thing a manager can do isn't a wellness program or a pizza party. It's showing their team what it actually looks like to disconnect and making it safe for everyone else to do the same. Start with one of these things this week. Your team is watching. If this resonated, follow along. I talk a lot about leadership, people strategy, and building work cultures that actually last.